Why are humans afraid of the dark? At first, the answer seems obvious, because we can't see what's around us. But here's the strange part. Millions of animals can't see well in the dark, yet most of them don't seem nearly as afraid as humans. So why are we different? To find the answer, we have to go back nearly 300,000 years. Back then, humans didn't live in houses. There were no locks, no streetlights, no flashlights, and definitely no electricity. When the sun went down, the world completely changed. During the day, humans were actually good at surviving. We could work together. We could spot danger from far away. We could find food. But at night, everything changed. Our biggest advantage disappeared. Unlike owls, cats, or wolves, humans have terrible night vision. Our eyes weren't built for darkness. In fact, if you compare human eyes to a lion's eyes, a lion can see several times better in low light. That meant something terrifying. When night arrived, predators could see humans, but humans couldn't see the predators. Imagine hearing something move behind you. You know something is there. You just don't know what. That's exactly how our ancestors lived every single night. And that uncertainty became deadly. Now think about this. You're walking through the forest. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice a dark shape. It could be a rock, or it could be a leopard. Your brain has to make a decision instantly. Ignore it, or prepare to run. If you mistake a rock for a leopard, nothing happens. You lose a few seconds. But if you mistake a leopard for a rock, you might never get another chance. That's why evolution rewarded cautious humans. The people who assumed the worst survived more often. Generation after generation, that cautious brain became stronger. Eventually, it became part of every human being. That's why your brain still reacts before your eyes have enough information. It's trying to keep you alive. But here's another question. If humans were so vulnerable at night, how did they survive long enough to become the most successful species on Earth? The answer wasn't bigger muscles. It wasn't sharper teeth. It wasn't faster running. It was something so powerful that it completely changed the relationship between humans and darkness. Fire changed everything. For the first time, humans had something that most predators feared. A single campfire could keep lions, hyenas, and wolves at a distance. That meant one thing: humans were no longer completely helpless after sunset. But fire did much more than scare animals away. It gave humans extra hours every single day. Before fire, people went to sleep shortly after the sun disappeared. There wasn't much else they could do. But with fire, the day became longer. Families gathered around the flames. They cooked food, repaired tools, planned the next day's hunt. And something unexpected happened. They started telling stories. At first, these stories weren't meant to entertain anyone. They were lessons. An older hunter might warn the younger ones about a valley where lions usually waited. A mother might tell her children never to wander away from the group after sunset. Another person might explain how someone survived a leopard attack. Every story contained information, and that information helped the next generation stay alive. Long before schools, long before books, stories became humanity's first classroom. But here's something even more interesting. If you've ever noticed that children are usually more afraid of the dark than adults, there's a reason for that. A child's brain is still learning what is actually dangerous. Every shadow looks unfamiliar. Every strange sound feels important. As we grow older, experience teaches us that most nighttime sounds are harmless. The house creaks. The refrigerator turns on. The wind hits the windows. We've heard these sounds hundreds of times before. Our logical brain understands them. But the ancient part of our brain still reacts first. That's why even adults suddenly freeze when they hear an unexpected noise at night. Not because they're weak, because their survival system activates before logic has time to respond. Scientists believe this is one reason horror movies work so well. Notice how most horror movies happen at night. That's not an accident. Darkness removes information. And whenever your brain has less information, it starts creating possibilities. What was that sound? Did something move? Was that only the wind? Or was it something else? Your imagination fills the empty space. And thousands of years ago, that imagination often kept humans alive. Today, it usually creates nothing more than a racing heartbeat. But the system hasn't disappeared. It has simply outlived the world that created it. Which leads to one final question. If our brains are still using survival instincts from hundreds of thousands of years ago, how many other ancient behaviors are we still carrying today without even realizing it? The answer is probably a lot more than you think. Fear of the dark is just one example. Your brain is still carrying survival instincts that helped humans stay alive hundreds of thousands of years ago. Take sleeping, for example. Have you ever wondered why strange sounds seem much louder at night? It's because your brain never completely switches off. Even while you're asleep, it continues listening. If it hears something unusual, it wakes you up before you're even fully aware of what's happening. That's another survival instinct. Or think about why people naturally feel safer in groups. Early humans who stayed together had a much better chance of surviving predators than those who wandered off alone. That instinct is still with us today. It's why walking down a dark street feels less scary when someone is beside you. Even if that person couldn't actually protect you, your brain simply associates groups with safety. Now, think about children. Many children ask their parents to leave a small light on while they sleep. Most parents assume it's just a phase, but that behavior may be much older than childhood itself. A little light meant one important thing: you could see. And seeing danger has always been better than guessing where it might be. Today, we know there aren't lions hiding in our bedrooms. We know the strange sound downstairs is probably the refrigerator. We know the shadow on the wall is just a jacket hanging from a chair. But your brain wasn't designed for modern life. It was designed for survival. Evolution is incredibly slow. Cities appeared only a tiny moment ago, compared to the hundreds of thousands of years humans spent living in the wild. Electric lights have existed for little more than a century. Your brain has been learning survival for hundreds of thousands of years. It simply hasn't had enough time to forget. That's why fear of the dark isn't a bug in the human brain. It's a feature that once protected every generation before you. Without it, your ancestors might have ignored the sound behind them. They might have walked too far from the campfire. They might have become food for a predator. And if that had happened, you wouldn't be here today. So the next time you switch off the lights, and your heart starts beating just a little faster, remember this: your brain isn't broken. It isn't overreacting. It's doing exactly what it evolved to do: protect you, even if the danger disappeared thousands of years ago. Because deep inside every human alive today, there's still a small part of an ancient survivor, listening carefully, waiting for sunrise. And fear of the dark is only one of many ancient instincts that still shape your everyday life. If you're curious about how evolution continues to influence the way you think, feel, and behave, subscribe to Born Human. We explore the hidden stories behind human evolution, psychology, and the science that made us who we are. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.